Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, I am going to be showing you the round 1 fixture review which was released just a short time ago at the time I'm recording this. Let's go ahead and hop right into things. Alright, so just so you know, confirmation, the full fixture of the first 15 rounds plus round matchups, locations, times will be released sometime next week, which is starting December the 5th all the way through to December the, well, you'd say, looking at 10th, 9th or 10th. So that's the rest of the week will be the rest of the fixture, including this round, which we already have now. So Thursday night, as we all expected, Richmond and Carlton, the MCG, these two traditional rivals will be kicking it off again. Now, I don't mind this from a fixturing perspective. They've done this for the past couple of years, and I feel like it's just traditionary now to keep that slot as it is. Now, no change time-wise, which I am going to be going over a really big time change now. It's not really massive time change, but it is a big one in the end. And we head to Friday night now, which is Geelong and Collingwood at the MCG. Now, I actually did think this was going to happen. I thought Geelong and Collingwood was the perfect way to create a blockbuster Friday night clash, as it is pretty much essentially the must-watch game of a weekend, Friday night. That's where you get your viewing times. And the AFL, I'm not sure whether they're going to do this for all games, but have bought this round 1 clash 10 minutes earlier. Originally starts at 7:50 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. This time starting at 7:40. So it's only 10 minutes, which footy fans did want to see the Friday night game shifted forward. Some wanted to see it shifted forward as much as perhaps 30 minutes, but 10 minutes is a start. 7:40 is not a bad time on a Friday night to play it. Even though it is only 10 minutes, the AFL might keep it this way, might revert back to 7:50 throughout the rest of the season. Not quite sure what they're going to do just yet. Although matchup-wise, do like the matchup. That's a good matchup. Geelong Collingwood, I feel like that's a perfect way to start the season. No grand final rematch for 2022, but there is 2021 grand final rematch, which I'll be going over a little bit later. So Northland and West Coast clash, 1:45 on Foxtel. Now, this is, again, you've got to have those boring games, although I don't really see this one being a boring game. I see this one being a good game between two not-so-great sides. Now, again, this is not going to get a lot of attention, a lot of views, but it's going to be still a good game between two not-so-great sides. So you do know when that happens, when you've got two not great teams, but still battle it out to make a decent contest. I feel like that's what this game is. Now, the one after that, though, is going to be quite a viewed one, if you can, which is Port Adelaide versus Brisbane at the Adelaide Oval in that Saturday twilight time slot. Now, this is going to be a good game. This is perhaps a really big battle going on here now. Jason Horne-Francis doesn't get to play North Melbourne in round 1, but I feel like this is a really good contest here between two teams that, well, Brisbane, that do want to rise up the ladder dramatically this year, at least for a top 4 finish, and Port Adelaide, who are really poor last year. Their 0-5 start to end up missing the finals. They do need to bounce back, and this is the perfect start to start round 1, is at home against Brisbane. Really big heavyweight clash here. Should be a cracker. So then now we have Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, which is the 2021 grand final rematch on the at the MCG on Saturday night. Now, they haven't changed this starting time either, but I do like this clash. I think it should be a good clash, Melbourne and Western Bulldogs. Now, Melbourne, you feel like they're going to be pretty well their same self. They're going to be trying out ruck duo Grundy and Gorn in that first game. The Western Bulldogs, they did have their own inclusions, but also they did have some outs as well throughout the trade period. So, going to be interesting to see how this clash does go out between these two sides. At the MCG, you do feel like Melbourne could have the edge, but this one could be anyone's game. Alright, so now we head to the second Saturday night contest, which is between Gold Coast and Sydney at Metcon Stadium at 7 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, it is going to be pushing this game out a fair bit as well, a bit later than most other start times of the weekend. It's going to be pushing it to 8 o'clock Victorian time, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, which could be a bit disappointing because it is a late start. But Gold Coast clashing with Sydney at Metcon Stadium could be a better game than what most people expect. Now, I do feel like, obviously, Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs will probably be the game that has the eyes on, but this one still could be the surprise pick Now, not necessarily, but Gold Coast and Sydney, we do know their history is quite an interesting one. Sydney have been upsetted so many times by Gold Coast, especially at the SCG. So this is going to be a cracking contest here between the Swans and the Suns if it can get to that stage. Now, to Sunday, which I do feel like we do have some heavily well matchups, some great weighted matchups here. First one between GWS and Adelaide at Giant Stadium. Now, Adelaide, it's not their favourite place to play. This is going to be a really good clash between two sides that, well, have struggled throughout the past couple of years. The Giants dramatically fell down the ladder in 2022, looking to come back up with a really big hand of draftees. And then Adelaide have brought in some good players over the past couple of years. Dawson, now Rankin, and what's his name again? Michael Laney comes into the team as well to play. So, again, you do have some good talent there for Adelaide. So, interesting clash here on the first game on Sunday on Foxtel. Then, this is where the games get good on Sunday. This is where perhaps some of the really big matchups can begin. Now, obviously, we've had some throughout this fixture, but these are two more brilliant matchups. Not like top-of-the-table matchups, but some very good matchups around each team's position. Hawthorn and Essendon clash at the MCG on that Channel 7 time slot, 3:20 on Sunday. This is a massive game. Now, there was requests for these two teams to play in the first round of footy. I also saw this happening as well. I saw Hawthorn versus Essendon playing in the first round of footy, and it did. They are playing in the first round of footy, believe it or not, and these two are very good rivals, so I feel like these two teams are very much around the same spot as well. So, yeah, I do feel like that is a perfectly put clash. And then St Kilda versus Fremantle at Marvel Stadium ends off the round with Ross Lyon, the new St Kilda coach, taking on his former side Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. And not that I'm going to say anything too early, but this could be a better clash than what people think. So there we have the fixture. Now, another big talking point out of this fixture is that both West Coast and Fremantle are playing at home. Playing away in round 1. Now, they'll both be playing at home in round 2 before you think the derby's coming in round 3 or 4, which will then again shape up the home and away, which team's home, which team's away kind of rights thing. Now, the reason why these two teams are playing away in round 1 is because there's an Ed Sheeran concert at Optus Stadium in round 1, which is going to disable the stadium for use from either of these clubs because it would just take too long to pack down. Now, obviously, the last thing which we're going to say, which this is a big change to the fixture, which I'm not sure is going to be what would you call like a thing that stays now, like a permanent thing. But this 7:40 start for the Friday night game. Now, I'm not sure whether this is signaling the AFL will bring it even further forward. Probably not, because Friday is their view time, and 7:40 is probably not a bad time for people to watch the footy. If anywhere, they'd probably bring it 10 more minutes forward, and that's probably about the best they could do. But I do feel like that's a start and probably a better time than 7:50 to start watching the footy. So that's the first round, and I feel like there's some really good games. I feel like the AFL has aced this. I feel like most of these games are with teams that are around your same level. I feel like this is going to be a cracking round of footy. So yeah, definitely one to keep your eyes on. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys next another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.